Nigeria's star-studded side won't take this game lightly, having been given a fright by Liberia in qualifying for this summer's World Cup finals. Nigeria prevailed by a single point, but for a long while it was Liberia who looked the likely qualifiers. And along the way, Liberia won 2-1 when the two sides met in Monrovia. Liberia have drawn both of their matches so far, having conceded late equalisers to Mali and Algeria. They'll have to make do without the suspended defender Zizi Roberts of Olympiacos tonight, and depending on the result, it may prove to be George Weah's international swan song as a player. Nigeria, who were a little fortunate to draw with Mali after beating Algeria 1-0 in their opening match, are in pole position to qualify from the group. They need just a point here. Celestine Babayaro of Chelsea and Victor Agali have both been dropped to the bench, with Ifeanyi Udeze and Garba Lawal coming in. Kanu of Arsenal and Finidi George of Ipswich Town both start. Our referee tonight, Fala Ndoye from Senegal, gets proceedings underway. This is the first African Nations Cup match to be played in Mopti. It's a tourist destination, often labelled the Venice of Mali, because it comes completely surrounded by water during the rainy season. Some 6 to 8 hours northeast of the capital by car, and if you have a little more time, around 2 days by boat up the River Niger. First touch of the ball for George Weah. I wonder whether we'll see him on the international stage again after tonight's match. He said that this will be his last tournament. West on the ball at the moment. He's had a good tournament so far. The former Derby County player. This could be a promising move. Kanu has got Udeze away to his left. Doesn't look interested in using him. Kanu. Daisy can keep the ball in play. Just about away from Kojo. Covering defender is George Weah there, and that one nearly fell to Aghahowa, who was racing through. Shwebu Omodo, a man who knows that his team must do well here if he's to continue to the World Cup finals, despite the fact that he was the coach that ultimately got them there. Taribo West, player in Germany these days with Kaiserslautern. Good control by Aghahowa. Opportunity, good save! Shot from Garba Lawal. And Lewis Crayton was equal to it. Reasonable effort, kept it low. Patient build-up here from Nigeria. George looking for Aghahowa. Kanu waiting for the layoff that never comes. Space for Yobo. Almost had too much time there. Away from Gebro. Aghahowa. Udeze. So they are, of course, a fine creating side. And here's Okocha. Good save by Crayton. Finidi George away on the far side. Kanu. Oliseh wants it. Here he is now. Goes for the shot alone. And didn't trouble the goalkeeper Sunday Oliseh on that particular occasion. Prince Daye. Neat little turn away from the Nigerian midfield. This looks promising. Weah was nearly in there. Second corner of the match now for Liberia. Seator. George Weah! Well, even now in the late autumn of his career, you're just not sure when the ball goes to George Weah inside the penalty area, whether it won't end up in the back of the net. Now Kanu. Good ball in, flag stays down. penalty to Nigeria. And Makor clearly handling the ball there. Weah just doing his bit to unsettle the Nigerians there. It's Finidi George against Crayton. And it's a fantastic save! Brilliant save by the goalkeeper. Finidi George sees his penalty save brilliantly by Crayton, who got down so quickly to his left. And there goes the half-time whistle, blown by our Senegalese referee. And Nigeria are being held here by Liberia, even though they ought to be in front. It's Nigeria 0, Liberia 0. Nigeria have been unable to seriously assert their authority on any of their group games so far, just the occasional glimpse of their ability, it seems, but that's all. And at this particular moment in time, their passage into the last 8 certainly isn't assured in these final group matches. Kanu finding Yobo. Nearly a worrying moment there for Arsene Wenger, the Arsenal manager, as Kanu was upended on the concrete. No damage done. That was rather sloppy play there by Okoronkwo. Promising ball for George Weah. That's something for Shorunmu to think about. Okoronkwo, the player who was caught out. Weah there waiting in the middle. Very unlucky. Deserved a goal there. Oliver Makor. And Liberia really starting to string it together. Seator with a chance! And you have to say that Liberia are unlikely to create many more chances as good as that. Good build-up play. Again, Nigeria caught out at the back. Seator ought to have forced a save from the goalkeeper at the very least. Yobo. Oh, and Kanu could be in here. Ball didn't fall kindly for him. Good opportunity for Finidi George! And the Ipswich Town player reacts as though he feels he ought to have done better with that. Difficult to see how close it was to going in from the angle we're viewing it from. The bounce not falling kindly there for Kanu. And the shot wide of the post. George Gebro. Seator. Garba Lawal with an audacious effort, which had Crayton grasping. He can smile now. Equal to it in the end. Danger's not cleared yet, though. Okocha did well to get the ball in from there. Yes! And Julius Aghahowa has scored his second goal of the tournament. And he celebrates in the way that only he can. At last, Nigeria have the breakthrough. 18 minutes into the second half, and Julius Aghahowa again is the man who comes up with the goods. Aghahowa could be the star of the tournament here. Dreadful defending by Liberia. Awful slice clearance. Aghahowa in the right place at the right time. Kojo. Kanu. Lovely skill! Good save by the goalkeeper. Kanu, a man who bamboozles defenders and nearly came up with a terrific goal. Lovely little turn. Good save by Crayton again. He's done well for Liberia tonight, the goalkeeper. Weah. Shot coming in, fine save by the goalkeeper, who in fact was pretty much behind the ball, but Prince Daye with the shot. Here's Babangida, he's away from the goalkeeper, good chance, good defending by Sebwe. Dionysius Sebwe would not be beaten. Lawal with the corner. It's no man's land. And there goes the final whistle, which means that Nigeria have gone through to the last 8 as winners of Group A. But it all went wrong on the final night for Liberia. They're left disappointed. They did have opportunities in this game, particularly in the second half, but were unable to take them. And it's Nigeria who go through. Liberia will be going home. The final score, Liberia 0, Nigeria 1.